think Coach Chizik's kind of the man who kind of demands the room. Right off the bat, I think a lot of people on the defense side of the ball kind of respected him and knew that he was about business. So I don't think I was really doing anything to like make it easier for him to come in. I definitely think he can handle it. He's an own man of himself, and he's doing a great job with us.
You talked before about how much you liked that Coach Cedric constantly talked about setting the standard. What are those conversations like? Is it maybe how long do they last? How often do they come up?
Yeah, I mean, so usually we've had defensive meetings about twice a week. And usually he kind of starts off the meeting, I say the first 10 minutes, like I said, just kind of talk about something, about being a man or just something that we must do on defense to be successful. So I think those conversations are really good. They're always intriguing to me because I always want to better myself as a man and also want to know, what are the little things that champions do, to win games. So I'm always intrigued on what he's got to say.
It said, like Coach said, you guys were criminally overrated last year. So what do you think about that statement, and kind of how do you feel about where you're at now as far as where you're rated and perception?
Yeah, I definitely think I kind of agree with that a little bit. We were ranked a top 10 team before the season last year, if I'm not mistaken, which we obviously did not live up to. But I think I like where we're at now. I think we have a lot of doubters. And I think that we're in a place where nobody's really looking at us to make a splash. And so I think it would be a great story for us when we come out this season and we have a good year.
So I asked Coach back in there what the key was to being back here in 5 months, not for the News Mail Bowl, but for the ACC Championship. So in your eyes, what are those keys?
What are the keys to get back?
Yeah, get back this.
I would say living by the standard that we set as a team. Being a passionate team, being passionate as far as how we work, being passionate as far as when we play on the field, being aggressive, bringing that extra energy, making the extra efforts, plays, holding guys accountable, holding my teammates accountable when I see a younger guy who might be falling behind or something, kind of checking them out, and just being tough. We're going to be in some tough games coming this year. We already know we're going to have to play in some tough environments, and we just got to be tough, to get through those things. And I think if we do those things with the talent that we have, I believe that we have a legit shot at being at the ACC Championship.
Cedric. I just wanted to ask, a similar question that British was asked. You're from Charlotte, and you're coming into that leadership role. So how does it feel to come here, back at home, and represent UNC in your ACC media day?
It feels good. Like you said, I'm from Charlotte. I probably grew up like 15 minutes from here. It's a good feeling always to be back and kind of recognized on a level such as this. And so I'm just really excited to get the season started and keep leading the team.
Cedric, what are 2 or 3 players on defense that haven't made a big impact yet, but this season are expected to, and you think will have a big season and a big impact?
I think first my number one is Desmond Evans. I think Desmond Evans is going to have a huge season this year as a pass rusher. I think before he was kind of used a little differently in our older defense, and I think he's done the little things to become a better player than he was when he first got in. So I think he's really going to have a breakout year. Somebody else, I would say Power Echoes. My running mate, the Mike linebacker right next to me. Since day one of practice, I knew this dude was going to be special. The energy and the level of physicality that Power plays with is unmatched, and I kind of look up to him sometimes, at some of the things that he's able to do from the physical standpoint at the linebacker position. So, and then lastly, I would say. You said somebody that hasn't really kind of caught any beat.
Someone that hasn't racked up stats, I guess.
I'm gonna go with Javari Ritzie. I think Javari Ritzie a great athlete. He came in last year, got an opportunity to play a little bit as a freshman. I think he's a guy who's kind of kept on building on what his talent already has, and I think he's gonna have an even better year than he had last year.
I figured you were going to say it. I think you probably did too.
Yeah, that was my guess. Appreciate you taking the time for that
You
one.
mentioned a few minutes ago that Coach Chiswick commands the room. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, Coach Chiswick starts off every meeting. We have this little thing where he's like, sit up straight, feet on the floor, eyes ready, and then he's like, NC, and everybody says NC. So it's just kind of like I say, he's commanding the room. He's telling everybody, hey, sit up straight, pay attention, and let's focus and let's get into what we're about to talk about. And so not only him just doing that, but just the way he speaks. I mean, he speaks very proudly. You can see when somebody's speaking very confident about what they're talking about. And so I definitely think it makes us, as players, be like, yeah, let's pay attention to this guy. He knows what he's talking about.
Your first meeting with him, when he did that, what did you think? What's this guy doing? What is this about?
I think the first meeting, it was definitely kind of like, hey, like, he want us to do all this and that, but I mean, we adjusted to it. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal. Like I said, he's creating a standard, he's creating order, so it really doesn't bother me.
Cedric Gray.
How was he going to make a difference in the defense?
I think, like I said before, the difference that he'll make is that more is less. He believes that guys should get really, really, really good at the basics and just kind of let our talents kind of handle the rest. He's not the type of guy to go into a game with 20 plays. He's the type of guy who's going to go into the game, with his base calls, and he's going to let our guys play.
You're a little soft-spoken. I don't know, is that true? Would you agree with that? Kind of soft-spoken, not like a super loud guy. Would you consider yourself a vocal leader on the field, or just someone else that leads more vocally and you're more quiet? What's your leadership style entering your junior season?
Entering my junior season, I don't know if I'm actually soft-spoken. Maybe you might see me as soft-spoken, but in the locker room with the guys, I'm definitely a loud, kind of talkative kind of guy. I would say I'm more of the energetic kind of guy who kind of gets everybody hyper, and I like to hold people accountable as well, because I feel like if I'm holding everybody accountable, like, hey, even this isn't coming from a coach, this is coming from my own teammate that we need to do this, then I think that kind of hits home, a little bit deeper with other teammates, and hopefully that can improve our team overall.